everyone, I'm Molly.
And I'm Erica.
And as always, we're so happy to be back with you here on Thrive Forward Tuesday to give you some of our favorite golden nuggets about health and wellness and nutrition. And today we are talking about food and inflammation.
Yeah, and so today why we're talking about food and inflammation is because often a lot of people are walking around the city or wherever you live with a low chronic pain.
Yeah.
You may not even know you have it, but it's like this dull pain and it's dulling your life. And here on Thrive Forward Tuesdays, we want to share with you ways to get rid of that low grade inflammation.
Yeah, exactly. Like pretty much anyone walking on the street is dealing with this. And so in our program, we don't specifically address inflammation, but everything we're doing when we're tweaking people's diets is to manage blood sugar and manage inflammation. Mm-hmm. And as a result, like regardless of why people come to our program, within the first couple of weeks, people start to see changes like, people who had headaches or migraines quite often no longer have them. Mm-hmm. There's a reduction in period cramps. People who used to be like doubled over in pain have little to no pain.
Yeah. I was going to say a lot of people that are experiencing, did you say headaches?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, headaches, but also brain fog. So people who like are really fuzzy in the morning, things like that. People with back pain, people with joint pain, they're just noticing a reduction in things like that. And then as people move through the program, they get blood work done and they notice that their cholesterol levels are lower, their good cholesterol levels are higher, their triglycerides have gone down, their blood glucose levels have gone down and stabilized. And then also things like people's inflammatory markers, their C-reactive proteins or their elevated liver enzymes are now like rebalancing. So there's a lot you can do with food and inflammation, and that's what we're talking about today.
Yeah, and so today in the agenda we are going to break down the difference between chronic and acute inflammation.
Yep.
We're going to tell you about foods to avoid, foods to add in, and
give you some actionable steps, as always.
Exactly. Okay, so as talked about, now we're going to do the distinction between the acute and the chronic pain. So acute pain is necessary.
Inflammation.
Yeah. Well, it is pain.
There is pain involved. It is painful.
Yeah, so the acute inflammation is actually necessary. Obviously, it's like if you twist your ankle, your body's like, stop, immobilize, because you don't want to do further damage.
Yep.
It needs to repair.
Yep.
Ice it. There's heat, swelling, pain.
Redness.
You know when your body's like, stop moving.
Yeah.
But then you have on the other end of that spectrum is the chronic low-grade inflammation and pain.
Yeah.
And so some people don't even recognize that they have it anymore. And that's just like you consume something that's inflammatory, it causes this little like swelling, inflammation.
Yep, and an artery and a muscle and a joint.
So you're doing little damage, but over time is what it leads to chronic degenerative diseases. Oh my goodness. Happy Tuesday, everybody. Anyways, and so that is something like, again, a lot of times our clients, they'll go on our program, they'll start eating better, and then they don't even realize like that pain has gone away. You may have like a wedding weekend, and then you're like, enjoying yourself, and then all of a sudden it's like back, and you're like, oh my goodness, like.
Yeah, I didn't even know that it was there in the first place, and then it went away, and now all of a sudden it's back.
Yeah, so it's a really good sign that there's like things that you can do, and
Yeah, and food really is the culprit when it comes to that chronic inflammation that Erica was talking about. And one thing that we just want to say, like why this is so important and is something that we're really passionate about is because chronic inflammation is at the root, like Erica said, of all chronic degenerative diseases. So what we mean by that is things like heart disease, high cholesterol, atherosclerosis, cancer, type 2 diabetes.
Even like Alzheimer's disease is uncontrolled inflammation in the brain.
Yeah, Alzheimer's disease, what was I going to say? Autoimmune diseases like Crohn's, rheumatoid arthritis, and liver disease like fatty liver. And what's really sad and why we want to talk about the food aspect of things is because a lot of these diseases that we used to only be seeing in older adults, we're seeing more and more often in young adults and even kids. So like we've got a lot of kids, especially in the United States, who are walking around with type 2 diabetes. They're shooting up insulin. They're on statins for high cholesterol. They have fatty liver because of the nasty crap that's coming into our bodies all the time. So that's what we're going to be talking about next.
Yeah.
All right, so now we're going to get down and nerdy with the shitty foods that are coming into your body.
Yeah.
So when we're talking about things that contribute to chronic inflammation, we've got three culprits. The first one is sugars and refined carbs. So white sugar, white flour. any place you're getting this stuff, your pastries, your donuts, your cookies, your crap, this is not doing you any good. Just get that out of there.
Yeah, don't forget about those sneaky sugars we've talked about a few times.
Yeah, exactly. Good call.
Received health foods.
Good call. The second thing, and this is probably one of the things that really just irks me, is rancid oils and fats. And so, like, I know every time I go to the States, there's a commercial for this, like, Maso corn oil.
Oh.
And it's, like, in the big plastic jug. It's clear. It's not being stored well. I know that it's probably, like, uber pasteurized, which is what actually damages the oils. So, like, these really cheap vegetable oils are, they're just like full of hydrogenated fats. They'll just like almost immediately inflame you.
Yeah, and that's something like, if we could just take a quick side note here, because this is something you'd never want to cheap out on.
100%.
Yeah, these fats like damage your cells. They prevent you from getting like good nutrients in, the junk out. Like, this is something you just do not want to
You don't want it in your
skip
body.
over. Yeah.
Yeah, and that includes, again, like, these oils are sneaky. So they're in a lot of prepared foods. It's not just like cooking oils that you're looking for. They're in a lot of prepared foods. A lot of chips are cooked in
Even
things like
healthy
corn oils.
chips. All
Yeah,
of them.
even healthy chips. So rancid oils, man. Like, if you're gonna do something, like, look for high quality oils.
Yeah.
Good one. And then the last one is conventionally raised meats and conventional dairy. So a lot of your animals who are fed on like corn feed, like cows are supposed to eat grass, chickens are supposed to eat bugs. Like, they're just supposed to.
Yeah, they all work together.
Yeah, they all work together. Just like corn is inflammatory for us, it's also inflammatory for the cows. So then you eat inflamed cows and inflamed cow milk.
Yeah, and I have to watch actually too, just again, we're just going to go side notes here, because as a celiac, oftentimes a lot of stuff's replaced with corn.
Yeah.
And I'm still feeling bad. I'm like, I didn't eat anything gluten, and what is going on? And it's usually the corn or the soybean oil.
Yeah.
So just,
Yeah. So those three things, sugars, rancid fats, and conventionally raised meat and dairy products, are just really the bane of your existence when it comes to managing inflammation.
totally.
Yeah.
And so what you can do about it is a lot of good things. It's like, so first of all, the foods you can add in.
Yeah.
The anti-inflammatory foods.
Yeah.
Dark leafy greens.
Yeah.
Dark berries.
Yeah.
And then also you can add in like allium foods, which are like leeks, garlic, onions,
Shallots.
chives,
Yeah.
all of those babies.
Yeah.
And then some nice spices. Oh, omega-3 oils, great. And then some lovely variety of spices. So we have like ginger,
Turmeric, cayenne,
cinnamon. Yeah. And so this is a really good way. If you look at that list, you can sneak those into a smoothie, which we have totally on our website. There is a happy hour coming up this week or next week.
This week,
Yeah.
and a recipe.
Yeah, and so there's a lot of good resources on our website for ways to sneak all of those things into one delicious meal.
Yeah, two things specifically. On Wednesday of this week, or tomorrow, and we're going to be posting a recipe for a turmeric latte, which has a lot of those ingredients in it. And then we'll be doing happy hour with that on Friday. And then next week we've got an apple cider vinegar tonic that's really, really good.
Yeah, so it's really easy to like take those two things out and then add in two things, like swap them
Yeah.
for something really good. It's a really good way to manage your inflammation.
Yeah, and one thing I want to also put in there is, so with the trend of if you're into the alkaline diet, so all those foods obviously that Erica just listed are in the alkaline side of things. One thing we always caution people against is like, you never want to go too hard or too deep into anything. Like, the body works in balance. Like, there is a yin and yang to the body. So you do need like 15% of your diet to be those like acidic foods, those grounding foods. So that would be things like grains and legumes, meat, like grass-fed meats, like your farmers market dairy products, things that are like gonna actually ground the body. Because what can happen when you eat too many of those vegetable things, like your blood pH, for example, is something that it has a very specific range it's got to be in. And if you're having too many of those things, yeah, it's super anti-inflammatory, but then in order to maintain that pH, your body's going to start leaching minerals from your bones. So everything's a beautiful balance in the body.
Yeah, totally. I went raw for a little while there, and it was not pretty. Because I just wasn't grounded. Like, I was really like it was more stressful to
And
the
you get a
body.
little spicy.
Yeah, and you also understand like stress is inflammation, right?
Yeah.
So like if you're stressing yourself out, it just again, like Molly said, there's a nice balance there.
Yeah, that's so good. Anytime that you feel like what you're doing it's like hard, you're white knuckling through it, it's like your body's really like pulling for you to be eating something that's there, and you're just like, no, I have to, like this rigidity, like I have to be eating this salad, and really what I want to eat is like a little bit of goat cheese or something. Like it should never feel like that. Your body knows what it needs, what it's looking for.
Yeah, and that again, to that Molly's point, that's when you get into the binging phase later.
Yeah.
It's a whole other topic.
It's a whole other topic. So we always want to leave you with things that you can actually do about these morbid things that we tell you.
Oh, totally. So what 2 things that you are immediately just like to take out and just like accept it and then move on to these other 2 things.
Yeah.
Conventional meat and dairy, it's like if you don't go to your farmer's market if you can.
Yeah.
These are just the most inflammatory. And they can be controlled if you have a farmer's market.
Yep.
If not, go to your local butcher. Be resourceful. It's really, the trends are moving in that way. We love those trends.
Yep.
Local food. Get to know those people in your life. And then the second thing is to take out those rancid oils.
And refined sugars.
Yeah, so there's usually a product that you have in your house that's just like your go-to like snack or whatever.
Yeah.
Just look at the back of the label. Make sure that it doesn't have like the safflower oil, the mixed vegetable oils. And just find like that. You know, like Molly and I, we have a great pumpkin seed recipe on our
Yep.
website. And it's something you can do at home. It's really great.
Yeah. So look at those packaged products and really like, if you can't afford to be eating those the grass-fed meats all the time, it may look like less, like reducing the amount of meats that you eat or the amount of dairy. But yeah, just like having that become more of like a condiment and something that's really high quality is going to go a long way.
Yeah, happy chicken eggs, like I buy at the farmer's market for $5. So I don't eat meat all the time.
Yep.
And I make sure to get my protein in that way because I'm
Yep.
not vegetarian. And it keeps me going, especially at lunchtime.
Yeah, 100%. And so then you also want to be adding things in.
Yeah, so you want to make sure like in the afternoon or in the morning, a really good way is to just do this with a smoothie. It's the best way to
Yes.
start your day. Get a good fermented vegetarian protein.
Yep.
Or not, whatever. And then also in the afternoon, if you don't like smoothies, you can have the turmeric latte we're going to post tomorrow. It's another good way to get all of those things, like the ginger, the garlic, the cinnamon, the good fat, and the turmeric.
Yeah, and smoothies are just a really easy way to get a lot of bang for your buck. So smoothies are a great thing to start. And then, or the apple cider vinegar tonic. Yeah. And one thing, we didn't talk about this a lot, but one thing to look like an easy place to make a swap is to look at your self-care products. So if you think about your skin, like your skin is your largest organ, and that's also one of the places where these inflammatory compounds can come into the body. And if you think about, you know, for women especially, like our hair products, our soap, our conditioners, our face creams, our face washes, our makeup, our body creams, like if you're not using natural products, start kind of shifting those conventional products out and use more natural products. And if you have questions about, you know, what products we like, feel free to ask us. And on that note, one thing that we're implementing is rather than doing Monday Madness where we post a question, what we're actually going to be doing is from 11:30 to 12 Eastern time on Mondays, we're going to be doing Coffee on the Couch with Molly and Erica. So we do love our beverages, but what we're going to be doing is we're going to be on Facebook Live for that half hour and really give people the opportunity to get some like custom coaching from us. If you do have specific questions about things like body care products or what the best thing to cut out of your diet to manage inflammation is, what the best way to swap something in is, that's a perfect place to bring it.
Yeah, we can save you a lot of money because we've tried so many things. And whether like, natural products get a bad rap because they're perceived to be not as useful as the toxic products, but it's not true.
We can tell you the good ones.
Yeah, we've done all the research, so.
Yeah, 100%.
Come check us out on Mondays.
Exactly. And thanks so much for joining us. We love talking about inflammation, if you couldn't tell.
Yeah.
We'll probably be doing more on this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Happy Thrive Forward, everyone.
Yeah.
Bye.